The Simone Feiler Podcast, giving authors a platform. Welcome to the podcast.
Super delighted to chat with Les Green today and introduce him to you. Les is the newly appointed Head of Operations at Melbourne Audiobook Production. So if you write or you're an author and you'd like to make your audiobook dream a reality, then Les is your man. A very warm welcome to you, Les.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. On a rainy Melbourne Friday morning, sorry.
Well, it's usually raining in Melbourne. I'm lucky that I'm up here in sunny Queensland. Firstly, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on board and expanding the Aussie audiobook production brand in Melbourne, and for all the fabulous work that you've already done with me here at Brisbane Audiobook Production, editing some of our amazing authors. I love your work and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you part of the team. So I guess this is a really good opportunity, not only to let everyone else know, but me know as well, because we don't really talk that much, do we, Les?
Yeah, not often. It's usually emails.
Yeah, and just work-wise. So tell me all about you. Where did you grow up and what was life like when you were a little young whippersnapper?
Well, obviously, as you can probably tell, I'm from the UK.
Yeah.
I'm from the north, a place called Blackburn in Lancashire. Oh, right. So we've got to kind of delve into the childhood straight away. So yeah, it's a long time since I thought about this, to be honest.
Okay.
So growing up in a very small town in Lancashire, there's not a lot to do other than play music and watch football, or soccer, as you put it.
Yeah.
And
does that annoy you that we call it soccer?
A little bit. Touch.
It's the only game that you actually play with your feet, isn't it?
Exactly. I'll let you off. Don't worry. I'll let you off. Yeah, it's been a good childhood, if you will. I've always been passionate about music, even from a young age. I started recording myself with a guitar tutor back in the day when I was about 10, 11. So I've been in a recording studio since, for the best part of, how old am I now? 38 nearly. So nearly 28 years.
Very cool.
So yeah, it's always been a massive part of my life. And then going through school and, sorry, go for it.
I was going to say, how old were you when you started playing guitar?
About 10.
Right.
So I started learning when I was about 10.
Okay.
And then the guitar tutor that I was working with, he had his own recording studio, converted garage in the back. So as soon as I found out about that, I was fully interested. I wanted to record my own stuff and I wanted to be in the studio, and then caught a bug for it from then, really. Then went to college and learnt about it. I lived in Preston for a while, which is another small town in Lancashire.
Right.
And studied audio engineering from there. Also did it in Manchester, got a diploma in Manchester for it, and then decided when I was 22 to move to London to study it for my degree.
Awesome. So, well, you've done a lot of study, obviously. You're very good at your craft, and from what I've heard you are. So, what sort of stuff did you produce for yourself? Have you made music or, CDs? And, well, CDs are an out thing, but did you actually write a music track? What the heck is that, Simone, a CD? So, yeah. Have you got like your own music there that you put up on Spotify?
Yeah. So, wow. I've been constantly writing and creating music, either playing guitar or production. So I learned the music production and as well as recording. And yeah, I think there's two EPs and one album that's currently on iTunes or Apple Music now, I guess. Spotify and SoundCloud. So it's
Cool.
been a consistent kind of process where mostly just for my own kind of enjoyment, but also I've worked with a couple of other artists, especially in London. Some in London and some in Belgium. So kind of all around Europe a little bit as well.
Excellent.
Writing, singing and producing, yeah.
And so what's your band? Do you call yourself a band, or is it your name, or what is it?
No, yeah, it's just under me. It's just under Les Green, or you'll find it under Green Productions.
Yeah. So you do have
you
your
can-
own recording facility, studio, Les, Green Productions. That's such a cool name, Green Productions. Very environmental. How long have you been running that for?
For on and off for the past 10 years. So that kind of encapsulates all my music that I create, music that I've written and produced for other people. And then it's kind of over the last 2 or 3 years, it's moved into creative writing and also podcast recording and audiobook recording.
Yeah, cool.
It kind of encapsulates 3 different areas, really.
Yeah. And so apart from guitar, do you play any other instruments?
Oh, just sing and guitar.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you can sing the jingle for Melbourne Audiobook Production, maybe? Write the intros and outros to podcasts.
Something we can look into, yeah.
Have you done that for other people?
I haven't done jingles or anything, no. I haven't. But I've written for other people.
Right. Anyone famous?
Sadly, no. Possibly in London or in the UK, semi-famous. I've had tracks on BBC Extra, which is a national radio station. So I've had a couple of tracks on that through various other people. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So obviously you did a lot of that in England, and then obviously now you are in Melbourne. How did all that happen? The move over to Australia?
That's come about over the last couple of years. So I basically had been traveling and arrived back in the UK in 2017, broke, as you would imagine, from traveling the world. So I lived back home and kind of got myself financially back into something normal.
Thanks, mummy and daddy.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. And then decided to come back to London. And then from there, I met my partner, who's from Sydney.
Right.
She was working in between Switzerland and London, and her ultimate kind of goal for the next couple of years was to move back to Australia. So it was semi-ultimatum, if you like. It was a case of, I'm leaving, would you like to leave with me?
Wow.
And unfortunately, being in love, it was a case of, I've got no choice, I'm going to have to come.
True love. That's a beautiful story. And don't you think you made the right decision?
Absolutely. Maybe not the first couple of months in Melbourne when we were still in hard lockdown. But,
yeah, well, so had the lockdown started? When did you actually arrive? 27.
So, no, I arrived last year. So it was the end of August to start of September.
Right.
So
2019 or 2020?
No, 2021, literally last year.
Right.
So, yeah, got here. I went through the Darwin quarantine facility, which was interesting.
Wow.
That was an interesting process for 2 weeks.
Okay. Did you write some songs in there? I guess there wouldn't have been too much to get up to there.
Yeah, I did wrote some bits and did some editing and things. And then arrived in Melbourne, yeah, mid-September, end of September. And it was fully in the last lockdown that we had. Yeah, it was a very strange experience. I went from being in Darwin in the NT at 36 degrees to then coming to Melbourne, and I think it was about 7-8 degrees and raining.
Dear.
It was definitely massive difference in the Australian experience.
For sure. Do you liken the weather in Melbourne to English weather?
It's not far off, especially in the winter. The difference is it tends to be sunny a lot more.
Yeah.
In the UK, it's not as cold, definitely.
Yeah. I lived in the UK for 4 years, and yeah, I love the culture. I lived in London and Cambridge, and the people were awesome. And then I came home on a holiday and just thought, I can't have another winter over there. I just need the sun. So came crawling back to the sunshine in Queensland. So
were you on a radio station in Cambridge, or?
yeah, I worked at a station called Q103.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I've
So,
heard of it.
oh, have you? Cool.
Yeah.
So did that broadcast to your area in Lancashire? Lancashire?
No, probably one. I've been in London for best part of a decade. I think I went down to London in 2006.
Right.
So
Okay.
we might have crossed paths unknowingly.
Yeah, maybe no, because I actually went earlier. I was there from 1999 and came back 2002. So
Okay.
I was there for I remember the whole world was ending with the trade towers and everything, 2001, watching it on TV and thinking probably started thinking I should go home. But then, geez, we have seen some things with the world, haven't we, in the last 20 years?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
Yeah. So you've settled into life in Melbourne now, and obviously you guys aren't in lockdown. How's everything going? It's kind of, sort of getting back to some sort of normal.
Yeah, I think so. Not been out too much, to be honest. Obviously spent Christmas with Amanda's family, which was lovely. Out in Corrion, essentially in the bush, I guess. It's a border town between Victoria and New South Wales. So
right,
that was great. That was lovely.
That would have been was that your first Christmas here?
Yeah, that was. Yeah. It's really nice, really lovely to be out in the country and go and see, just some of the countryside that you've got. It was beautiful. It was lovely. The snowy mountains and things like that. So,
are you looking forward to traveling around the country and seeing the rest? Like Uluru and Great Barrier Reef.
That's the plan for this year. Whether that'll happen or not, fingers crossed. Touch wood. Absolutely, yeah. We want to head to Tassie. Want to go to the Great Barrier Reef at some point. Want to go to South Australia and do some of the Great Ocean Road.
Nice.
I think there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot to do.
Definitely. Well, at least you can say you've done Darwin now, so you've been up north.
Yeah, exactly. We took that one.
Claim it. All right. So, well, you're now doing audiobook production for Melbourne Audiobook Production. So you've done quite a fair bit of editing for some of the amazing authors that have come through Brisbane Audiobook Production. How do you enjoy editing audiobooks?
Yeah, it's fab. Like I said, I've been massively passionate about audio for best part of two decades, almost 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I love it, and especially working on the audiobooks, it's a chance to listen to some people's stories. I mean, already I've learned quite a lot about Australian culture, including the Kimberleys, which has been fab. Quite eye-opening, and hopefully, like, this will give me a chance to meet some other authors here in Melbourne. It'll be great to kind of hear their stories and help them get their voice out there. It's going to be a good year.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I love about it as well. Doing audiobooks, you get the author to narrate the story to you. You learn lots of new stuff. And like the one really important thing I reckon about audiobooks, particularly with authors self-narrating, is the fact that their children's children will be able to listen to them read their story. And every time I think about that, I go cold, because I think that's amazing. I would love it if one of my ancestors had read their book and I could hear them narrating it. That would be so cool. So that's one of the reasons I reckon people should self-narrate their own work. So you recently had John and Laura Summers in, The Infertility Man. They obviously were the first people to come through Melbourne Audiobook Production. How was that?
It was great. Yeah, it was lovely to meet them and hear their story. It's obviously not fiction. It's their life that they've lived for the last couple of years, and the difficulties with fertility that they've had. But their passion for it, and obviously things have worked out for them. There's no spoiler, I don't think, in that book.
Yeah.
Things have worked out for them. They have managed to have a baby.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And you can tell that they are super happy and want to help other people by giving them the guidance that they particularly didn't get.
Yeah.
And you can tell with the enthusiasm they have. So like you said, having people narrate their own stories, their own backgrounds, put it in their own words is so much better than just reading someone's words.
Yeah.
It brings it to life much more. So
yeah,
they've been fab. They've been fab.
Excellent. And do you think they enjoyed the process working with you? Did they come in nervous and think, "Oh, I've never done this before"?
I hope so. Absolutely. I think there was a bit of nerves from myself and from them. But I think that quickly settled.
Yeah.
John had a look at the guitars on the walls, and he started sharing some of his drumming experience with me and stuff. So I think things settled pretty quick.
Yeah. I do find that when authors come in with me, I'm also, every author's brand new, and you're working with someone new, but generally they're like, "Oh, I'm nervous." But after about, I reckon, 20 minutes, pretty much for most of them, they're like off and rolling. I was born to do this. Is that how you felt with them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is. I think people just want to suss out how it's going to work. And then once they've had 10, 20 minutes of hearing themselves, kind of their natural personality comes out. And they roll into it, like you said. Yeah. They start enjoying it.
Yeah, that's right. And by the end of it, they're like saying, "I'd like to do this for a job." If you've got any other books for me to narrate, I'm there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it also encourages them to get out there and write their next book.
And come back in and record it with us.
That's right. Yeah, I've definitely had a couple of repeat offenders, and they they love it, and they always do a good job. And after you and I get to the production phase, editing, by the time that they hear that book back, it's, I think, a joy. It's a joy for me to hear the final product, taking out the mistakes. And I think a lot of people think, "Oh, I don't want to go in there and make a fool of myself, make 50,000 mistakes." But, even if you do make 50,000 mistakes, we can clear all that up and make it sound like magic anyway in the end.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. It's our little magic tricks.
Exactly.
To be able to make people sound great, like rock stars.
That's right. That's right. So what can people expect, our listeners that might be having a listening today, expect to find when they're working with you?
What to expect? Well, hopefully a great environment first and foremost. The facility that I've got here is starting to take shape, and I'm really happy with it. Just on a personal level, especially for my own productions. But for other people to come in, it's starting to look and feel like a place that you can be comfortable.
Awesome.
First and foremost. And second, just hopefully to meet me and yourself vicariously, and people that are passionate about helping someone get their voice and get their product out there. I know there's quite a few studios that want people in at ridiculous rates to just record them and then push them out, whereas I feel like there's a lot more passion that goes in. We're more interested in getting the end product rather than how long it takes people or how many mistakes people make. And that doesn't come into it for us. It's more about, is your finished product going to represent you, and is it going to be the best it can be? So yeah, hopefully people will get that. It's like you said, it's a bit nervous at first, but naturally that's how people feel get in front of a mic anyway. But when they realise that what our stance is, then I think people become much more comfortable.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. That's why I think I'm so lucky that I found you. We're very akin, you know, making the author feel comfortable, getting the final product exactly the way the author wants it, and, you know, delivering that product to the world. So we can also help with global distribution to Audible and Amazon and iTunes. And I think there's about 50 other outlets where your book would be available at. And and so if you want to get in contact with Les or myself, then Brisbane Audiobook Production for Brisbane, obviously, Melbourne Audiobook Production for Melbourne, and that's .com, brisbaneaudiobookproduction.com or melbourneaudiobookproduction.com, and you can come and work with Les and I. Any other final things you'd like to say, Les?
No, I don't think so. I think it's all good. It'd be nice to meet some more authors around Melbourne over the coming year. So yeah, please get in touch.
Sweet. Well, I appreciate the chat. Good finding out about you and that you can write music, and maybe we can do something along that avenue as well. Maybe if people want some music in their audiobooks, well, we've got the man now.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks for your time. We'll have to do this again one time soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been fun.
All right. Enjoy your Friday and have a fabulous weekend, Les. Cheers.
Bye now. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for joining the Simone Feiler podcast.
What's your story?
Contact Simone for a chat at brisbaneaudiobookproduction.com.